I always wanted to be a director from when I was 5 years old. When I saw the movie Short Circuit, I asked my dad, how did they get this robot? And he said to me, no, they didn't get him, they made him, he's not real. And it blew my mind. And from that moment, I've wanted to tell stories and make movies.
Seth Larney is the director of 2067. He has a very considerable resume. We also share a lot of the same sort of inspirations, and we clicked really well when we first met.
In about 2012, I read an article that Seth had done a read-through of this script, and I had met Seth years before on Star Wars and The Matrix and Superman Returns, and I gave him a call and said, see, you got a script.
The first day we had this read-through of the script. I sat down at the head of this table. We had all of our 7 principal cast sitting around the table at one time. For the first time I could see all their faces. It wasn't just like one Skype caller after another Skype call, right, in individual conversations. It was everybody together, and it blew my mind.
Seth is such a beautiful person and director. Definitely one of my favorites that I've ever worked with. He has just such great instincts. He never loses his cool, which is such an important thing when you're leading the show. He has such a beautiful language in guiding his actors. And yeah, I'm very grateful to have worked with him. Seth has given us the opportunity to shoot this chronologically, and I think as much as it is an intention and motivation for him, and it's cognitive, we kind of had to only go in that direction. Ultimately, it gave us the best playing field for being an actor, because we actually got to, saturate ourselves in the characters beforehand, know what they're about to go on, but just kind of forget it as we really took that journey. It was quite sad, actually. Each actor, the further that Ethan got into his fate and into this big machine right here, every one of those actors was like rapping and getting clear, and it just truly it put me in the best situation for Ethan, feeling like his world was, crumbling. I mean, Ryan, me and Seth have been on the verge of tears sometimes just seeing some of these things come to life.
Seth is a real force of nature, but in such a modest way. For instance, if Cody and I are in a flow and it's a 3.5 minute kind of a take, he knows that the energy required for that is a lot, and particularly when you see the stuff that we're dealing with life and death situations. And to know that he has this ability to read people, I think is a big one. I love working with directors that have a very clear intention and vision. And Seth instantly had something to say, not just from an artistic standpoint, but from, we need to fix this fucking place.
Just after Seth first came up with the idea, we actually made a short film called The Clearing, which was a concept film related to this one. And I've just watched his aesthetic as a filmmaker really grow, and his confidence. And I don't mean just the physical aesthetic, but I mean the aesthetic of how he tells a story and where that comes from. It really now resonates within the whole world that is being expressed on the screen. Seth is really wonderful with the actors. He has a really sensitive way of explaining things. That sensitivity is something that allows you to really find more honest performance. And I love the fact that Seth is creating a sci-fi where we've got really human performances. It's not just about the aesthetic.
Working with Seth has been really great. He's very collaborative and feel very comfortable to go to him with anything, and he's just really open to suggestions, and even the rehearsal process was amazing.
Seth, our director, he has an amazing mind. He's created this world. He knows every little detail because he's been living with this story for 10 years now.
This experience has been just so much fun. Seth is an incredible director. You can see his passion for this story. It's a labour of love. He's brought together an incredible team. Really can't wait to see the end result.
I think the film is actually a really good understanding of Seth himself. He cares about the environment, he cares about people, it's about, a relationship between a son and his father, and they're all the elements of the film.
It's interesting because at the heart of this story, I think Seth always thought it was about Ethan's love for his wife, and that he would go to the ends of the earth, sacrifice everything to save her. And during the course of those years of development, I think what he realised was that it was a story about him and his father.
I don't have the opportunity to hang out with my dad that often, because we don't live in the same city together. So from the start he's been such an incredible supporter of this film, and then to just to come here with me and be here helping and working 24 hours a day tirelessly to help us all achieve this crazy vision, you know, of this crazy thing that came out of my head, you know, has just kind of just moved me in ways I can't even describe.
This is a really ambitious Aussie sci-fi movie, and Seth has really put his heart and soul into this. This has been a decade-long labour of love for him, and we really feel like we're part of a project that is trying to say something and to try and sort of question your own beliefs. We can change, and I think that we need that now more than ever.
I've got this sort of crazy idea in my head that kind of story, like if one person walked out of a cinema and they you know, they turn to the person that they love and they say to that person, oh, you know, I'm sorry about that argument that we had, or I'm thinking about this relationship in a slightly different way that maybe I was before. If only one person thinks that way after watching a film, to me, that's worth it.